What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Positive Vibes Only Show. I'm your host, Omar. I am running some errands real quick, and I figured now would be the best time to shoot a video because I'm so busy that I just don't get a chance to really sit down and do a video. I have all my thoughts and everything that I want to share with everybody. But, again, I credit to all the Jets YouTubers who are making a living doing this, and they spend a lot of time thinking about the product that they put out there, whereas I'm not a business. I don't do this for any reason other than to support the team and support our players. So with that being said, it's always good to kind of take a moment, take a breath. The Raiders game and the Chargers game were really sting right now. They do. No way to sugarcoat that. Zach's been playing well. Saleh said so himself. He also kind of hinted in a way, if you read between the lines, he said, the guys around him need to play better. He kind of mumbled that under his breath on one of the press conferences, I think on Monday. So today's Tuesday, obviously. So I woke up today and found out, well, actually, I semi-found out last night because I was out doing some work that Buffalo lost to Denver. And then I saw the clips this morning and I go, yo, Russ Wilson was out there cooking. Oh, man. So it re-inspires that hope that, hey, guys, everything is going to be okay. We keep catching these breaks, and obviously we're in a position right now where we are going to continue to need help. There's a number of scenarios that can play out. Obviously, the best scenario, and again, I don't want to sugarcoat this, is if the Jets had just taken care. Had we just gone 1-1 in these last two games, we'd be sitting in a much better position, obviously, than sitting here 4-5. So, again, it's still not the best position to be in, but there is obviously still a chance. The season is very much still alive, and it may come down to us having to win the division now versus getting into a wild card spot. But again, there's a lot of help and a lot of scenarios that can still play out. It's week 10, I think. We got time. A lot of football still left to play. We got Buffalo this week. So, and then obviously Miami for the Black Friday game, which makes it a kind of a short week. So, where do we go from here? Well, Saleh said there are going to be some personnel changes. We don't know what that means, if other people might play, if they might look at other people and how they are performing in practice and things of that nature. I will say, let's circle back to the quarterback, because it's always about the quarterback. I think Zach is playing fine. In fact, I keep seeing improvement from him. We had touchdowns called back. Touchdowns. So it's like a one-step process. 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps backwards. It's like we gotta stop shooting ourselves in the foot. We dominated that game in every way, shape, or form against the Raiders. But the score, obviously the final score doesn't indicate that. Number of issues on all 3 sides of the ball. Some big gains out of special teams. Again, just things that we don't have to go through. We don't have to put ourselves in these positions. So I got faith that they might find something. And here's the thing too. I feel like the whole team is pressing. I feel like part of the reason why we're having penalties is because on every play that's positive, everybody, or maybe it's just a handful of players, and it seems to be a handful of players that keep making the same mistakes. When they're pressing, it's like, okay, there's a positive play. I got to help out the team. I got to help out Zach. I got to help out the offense. I got to just... And it turns out to be what we see, We also had, I think, a fumble that we didn't sit on, because we were trying to scoop and score. Again, one of those things where you kind of panic in the moment. The team is trying to play good. The team is playing hard. It's just these mistakes. I think they could be corrected, although I wish we had more practice time during the week. Obviously, this is a full week now. I don't think there were any injuries. From what Saleh said yesterday, he didn't mention any injuries. Garrett got a little dinged up, I think, but it wasn't even something that was worth really... Oh, no, he did mention it in the presser. He did mention it. He said that Garrett and someone else could have came back in the game Obviously, Garrett was there for the last play, so he was talking about somebody else. I think he may have been talking about C.J. Uzomah, who could have came in. I think maybe they took him out the last series or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they might be looking to say, hey, CJ, we're going to kind of start Rucker over you, for, or whatever. They might change the pitch count a little bit. I don't think there's necessarily a starting unit. Obviously, Breece Hall, Zach, Garrett, those guys start. But then everybody else are just interchangeable pieces. So, and that's how an offense should run. And then, of course, you got the line. I don't know if Dwayne Brown's coming back this week. I think the best thing for us is to possibly just keep this current rotation on the O-line together. We did a really good job bracketing Max Crosby. I think Zach only took 1 sack, or maybe 2. But I don't think Crosby got a sack. There was a fumble, so that probably counts as a sack. And that's another thing, too, that I'd like to see Zach improve upon. He's holding the ball. I like the ball on quarterbacks to be about, pec high, wherever your chest, and his ball placement sometimes gets a little bit low. So I'd like for him to, I hope the coaches see that and say, hey, get that ball up a little bit more, buddy. Because what happens is that when a D-end is reaching for you, it's a lot easier to reach down by your belly, especially when they're falling and they're getting pushed by an O-lineman. Zach is 6'3", so in order to, if you got the ball a little bit higher to your chest, when you're reaching for it, now you have to kind of strain for it, and it's a little bit harder for, a D-lineman or defensive end to do that when you're getting, if the offensive line has good pad leverage on you and they're pushing you down. So I thought that, Zach's release was a lot faster. We were getting the ball out. We were decisive. Were there a couple open guys on certain plays? Yeah. And maybe I'll do another video later where we review some of the catches and throws. And there's a couple of videos out there already that show some of the, show some of the footage. So, I would just borrow that, I give all the credit in the world to the original uploader. And we could look at some of those. Because I remember seeing one play where Zach took off and ran, but Gibson was wide open. Gibson wasn't wide open. Gibson came open, but Zach got tapped on the shoulder. His head came down, and he's looking kind of towards the left side of the field. And then Gibson kind of comes out of nowhere, and then is kind of in the center of the shot. And I'm like, man, from this shot right here, Gibson had the whole field. Either way, it was still a big positive play for Zach. So, one thing that's not good, though, that we have to improve upon is that sometimes we can't run the ball. Zach was the leading rusher for the game, or tied in stats for the leading rusher. We can't have that. We can't have the entire offense go through Zach. So he was passing leader, yards leader, and rushing yards leader. That means that everybody around you has got to pick it up. And we still got to get more creative on the play calling, because I felt like I knew every single time we were going to run the ball. A handful of times Cook was in there for play action, or Breece was in there for play action. That worked out really well. Some big plays to Garrett. I think Garrett had another 100-yard night, or just shy of 100 yards. Garrett's definitely on pace for a 1,000-yard season, over 1,000 yards, maybe 1,100 yards. I got to look at the numbers later on. Again, there's a lot of positives to take away from this game, right? We bracketed Crosby really well. We were getting third down conversions early. We had our opening drive scored points. Just a number of things that we're doing better, and at times looking like an NFL offense. It's just the consistency. And the last thing I'm going to say before I get to my final destination here is, I feel like when I look back at what Saleh was saying, and I have some thoughts on the defense too, man. The defense was like, come on, man. How are we getting cooked by Aiden O'Connell, bro? We haven't allowed, one step backwards we took was we haven't allowed, I think for a long time, we hadn't allowed a touchdown in the second half of any game. And I think we allowed one to LA and one to the Raiders now. So there's 2 games in a row, and I'm not happy with this trend. So again, can you ask the defense to do more? It's tough. There have been a number of games, especially the Philly game, where they look like the goddamn 85 Bears. Or really, maybe in the future people will say, hey, how about being the 23 Jets? I think we're getting up there in that conversation. So still only give up 16 points, and it was all 16 points. It wasn't no special teams, this, that. 16 points on the defense. Now, again, here's the flip side to that argument. scoring league-wide is at a 10-year low, more than a 10-year low. It's bad around the league. The league average is like 21 points, or just under, I think, 21 points now. So defenses are definitely reigning supreme in the league. I have another video I want to put out about that, where they were talking about it on ESPN. And so, and I might talk a little bit on that video. I might. We'll see. So yeah, be on the lookout for more videos coming from me. The last thing I'll say is that Saleh said that, remember during Hard Knocks, where he was walking off the field during the Carolina game and he was like, man, I feel like we're missing something. That's what I see right now with the Jets. I feel like there's something missing. And maybe, just maybe, I can understand why Joe Douglas didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. I guess there was just nobody out there that could have helped. We needed O-line help, and we're signing guys off the street. I don't know if there were any playmakers out there to be, signed. So we're just rolling with what we're rolling with. I thought Gibson was sneaky good. Gibson was sneaky good. And maybe that's the thing that we're going to do now, is try to incorporate him more, which is like, well, why do we have McCole Hardman in the first place? At the beginning of the year, we could be using McCole Hardman right now. Also, one thing to note too, Will McDonald was not active, so Carl Lawson played. I didn't really see too much from Carl Lawson, but I'm glad to see that Carl is still here and that he's playing, because I'm team Carl Lawson, because you need bodies, man. You need bodies. The Jets are all about the point of attack, and guys get hurt. So yeah, that's my thoughts. It feels like we're so close, but it also feels like we're missing something. I don't know what it is though, and it's got me shaking my head. And I had a hard time sleeping Sunday. Monday just felt like, I don't even remember Monday. I don't remember yesterday. I just know that I had stuff to do. Right now I'm taking a break shooting this video because the market is kind of the market pumped up so much today that I'm like, okay, well, sure, I can go take a break. But yeah, I keep thinking about this. Like, what is it that we're missing? Sound off in the comments below. What do you think it is that we're missing? And nothing negative, please. Don't talk about firing people and whatnot. This is who we have. Hackett's not going anywhere. He's Rodgers' guy. We're still in the Aaron Rodgers plan, okay? He wants to work with Zach. They're trying to get the best out of Zach. And they are. They really are. The whole offense can't be Zach, though. So something is just missing. I feel like maybe, just maybe, one of the things that's missing, obviously, is a touchdown. I feel like the moment we get in the end zone, everyone's going to relax. So again, sound off in the comments below. You could like and subscribe if you want. Again, I'm just someone who is just not going to stop believing in this team, this coach, this quarterback. You can knock me all you want. You can call me all the names you want. That's fine. That says more about you than it does me. Go Jets. Go Jets. 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 Positive vibes only. I'm out.